So I thought about quickly sharing what I'm looking at on the market. Um, yeah, so first things first, you always have to check Forex factory, right? That's always the first thing you have to check Forex factory, right? So yeah, this is where you always begin your analysis for the week. You click on filter, you take off this, you take off the unnecessary news, which is the yellow folder. So I only look at red folder and medium folder, right? So if you also look at the pairs, right? Depending on the pair you trade, I will just leave it like this. But I don't trade AUD, I don't trade CAD, I don't trade CHEF, I don't trade any of this. The only things I look at for USD, JPY, GBP, and Euro. So I could uncheck this if I wanted, but I'll just leave it there. But the most important thing is to remove this, right? And ensure that your time zone is correct. Like my time now is 9:15. Ensure that this thing is correct, right? Always ensure your time zone is correct before you make a mistake with the timing, right? So if you're in Nigeria, you have to start West Africa, right? So that's the first thing you do for every week, right? So looking at the news, I can see that today is European holiday, and its markets might be very slow this morning, right? So we have some volatility from the afternoon session, which is the New York session, right? So now we can go back to our charts, right? So I'm looking at only the pairs I trade, which are these things on my watch list. So DXY quickly, let's look at DXY very quickly. So DXY on the daily chart, DXY has been giving us. Well, let's go to the weekly first. So on the weekly chart, DXY has been giving us bearish momentum, right? We could see that we took out this liquidity low. And if you look at the DXY very carefully, you can see that market is reacting from this weekly fair value gap, right? So it's very ideal that, okay, since we are rejecting from this fair value gap, it's very, very possible that price is going for this low, right? So since we could not breach this low, right? This low acted as this fair value gap acted as what we call resistance level, right? So now this resistance level would likely push price to the next level of liquidity, which is this low. And if we judge by the trend line fashion, we still have some relative equal lows resting here, right? So we still have reasons why price can dump. So we had this three lows. So watch this. Now watch this very carefully. Watch this. So if you zoom into DXY, you can see that there are three daily lows around this spot. This is what relatively equal lows. And then if you extend it in the future, it is liquidity, right? So this simply means that DXY has very good tendency to push down towards this low, right? DXY has very good tendency to push towards that low, right? So we have to be very mindful of that, as that's what DXY might be doing this week, right? So that being said, we can also look at the higher time frame charts, right? The higher time frame charts. Sorry. Yeah. So that's what we have here. Market can go to the daily chart. Sorry. So on the daily, what do we have on the daily? Daily is still bearish. We are asking from that fair value gap, right? So we had a daily sweep of liquidity and all of that, right? So on the daily, we are still having that bearish market. Market is playing from that weekly fair value gap, right? And on the daily, we have this daily low. We have lows that can be taken out, right? So we would likely see price go for this low. This is my take, right? I may not be correct, right? I may not be correct, but that's what I see on this guy. I feel that price would likely go for this low, right? For this low, and yeah. So on the 1 hour, what do we see on the 1 hour? On the 1 hour, we currently have a kind of bullish market currently, right? On the 1 hour, market is kind of bullish currently on the 1 hour. So we have to wait for the 1 hour to give us a clear break, because you can see that price clearly close above this high, right? So let's see what happens. But judging by this structure, I can see that we have this on the 1 hour, right? We have this area of supply, which was mitigated just right here, right? So we have area of supply, which was mitigated just above this imbalance, right? That means that there's a very likelihood that price can dump. So I feel that price has made this lower high. So we'll likely see price something like this, right? So that's what I suspect on this guy, right? I suspect that. Suspect that. Suspect that. Right? I suspect that price will just likely dump. Right? So that's what I suspect on this guy. Right? That's my suspicion. Trying to close out something. Right? So that's what I suspect on that guy. And yeah, you should see price dump lower. I don't have any bullish bias on this guy. But market is very bearish, so we'll likely see this price dump to the ground, right? Market likely dump to the ground from where it is currently, right? So this is what I have for DXY. Consequently, if you look at maybe Euro USD, let us do a very quick comparison, right? So if you are bearish on DXY, that means you should likely see bullish markets on Euro USD and GBP USD, right? So let's look at Euro USD quickly. This is Euro USD. No, this is what GBP USD at this side. I want to quickly compare their daily market action. Right, so the daily, I'm looking at the daily chart first. On the daily, what do we have here? We can see that Euro USD made a GBP USD made a high, right? It's made a high, and then on Euro USD, there's no consequent high there, right? So there's a high formed there between 26th of May. This high was formed when on 26th of May. If you go to Euro USD and check 26th of May, okay, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. So a high was made on both sides. Let's look at the weekly chart for GBP USD. We're trying to get So you guys could see where I marked here. Right, let me just take off this stuff. So this is where I taught my students last week. This was so you can see that price is reacting from this weekly fair value gap here. But this was marked beforehand. And you can see that price has been going upwards since then. Right? So yeah. So going by markups now, what do we have? What can likely push price up again? We are looking at this high here. So we have this liquidity high resting here. Right? If market still wants to be bullish, judging that we have a bearish structure on GPUSD, right? Judging we have a bearish structure on GPUSD, right? Judging by the bearish structure we have on DXY rather, right? It's very likely a price will just likely go for this high. And seeing that price has made a new order block, right? Price has closed above this candle. And this candle can add, but looking at what I see here, I see another fair value gap here. So even if market wants to buy, I feel that it has to come down to this point. And so this will be my POI. So for this guy, my suspicion or my projection rather is market doing something like this. Maybe hit this fair value gap and then go higher. Right. So that's a wrong two. Where's that parabolic two? Right. Poly line. So something like this, what I expect on this guy, something like this. Right. This will make very good sense. Right. I would like to see something like that happen. Like what I would love to see. I would love to see that happen. Right. I would love to see that happen on this guy. Right. That doesn't happen, I'll just likely stay out until that happens. Right. So that's basically what I want to see. Yeah. Okay. Start for daily chart. Let's just quickly check the 1 hour. Let's check the 1 hour quickly. So on the 1 hour chart for GPUSD, you can see that currently 1 hour is currently bearish. Right, the currency bearish on the 1 hour. Why? Because you can see that price went below this low, but this could just be a liquidation. Let's go to the 4 hour rather first. So for the 4 hour, we have not really taken out a significant low, yes. So we still have this high, we have this low, and then we have this high that pushed above it. Right? We close above it, right? So on the 4 hour, we are still kind of bullish. Right? On the 4 hour, we are still, because we still have this low intact. We have this low intact. So price has not really been breaking lows. Right? It could just jump from here. But based on the weekly chart, I suspect that price should do something like this. This is more ideal. Right? Weekly chart drop to this point. Right? And then especially seeing that we took out this high right here, right? So this is what I would love to see on this guy. So anything beyond this is really low probability, right? Anything beyond this is low probability, really low probability. Anything that is beyond what I have there, it's really low probability, right? It's really low probability. So Euro USD, similar action. Let's look at the weekly chart. So weekly charts similar to, we had this favorable gap here. You can see how I marked it out as well. You can see price came to this favorable gap. You can see how price is reacting upward. I've already marked this out for a very long time, right? So we are expecting that price would likely obey or do what we anticipate. We're just watching. So market hits the favorable gap, tap into this last down push, and then we are targeting this high. So EUSD is already marked. For me, I feel that we're going to just continue going higher, right? Since DSY is still projecting bearishness, right? And then if you go to the daily charts, we still have this level. The price is playing off. So we came to this key level here. Go to the line chart, you can see a V-shaped key level there. So price came to that V-shaped key level, right? You can see the good reaction there. So it's like that price just continue buying to make a new high. So market has actually hit a PY for me. This last down push, right? So price can just continue buying from here into the new high. So for EURUSD, I'm still very significantly bullish. Right? Very bullish on EURUSD. Right. So that's what I have for EURUSD. I'm very bullish on EURUSD. I don't expect market to dump. Right. I'm very bullish for EURUSD. Very bullish. Extremely bullish on EURUSD. Yeah, very bullish. So let us see what the market is going to do on the lower time frame. Let's check 4 hour. So for the 4 hour, I see the same thing here. Market is bullish. You have not breached any low, because you should know that in a bullish market, lows are respected, right? So you can see that price is respecting lows, right? This was a liquidation, right? To tap into that imbalance. You can see how price has just been significantly bullish since then, right? So you can see this other block that price tapped into, very good other block here, and you can see how price gave a very good reaction from it, right? So market can just continue buying and then buy and buying and buying and buying and keep buying. So that's what I have on EURUSD. Right, so really that's what I have on EURUSD. Really. Right, so let's just look at one last pair, which is let's look at gold. So gold on the weekly charts, very quickly. Gold has given us bullishness. So if you look at gold, we can see that we have been bullish for a while. Why are we bullish? Because of the favorable gaps which price has been breaching from. So we had this favorable gap here, price hit it, and then it went above, came back to this second favorable gap here. And you can see how price has been reacting from these two favorable gaps. So it's very logical to expect that gold should continue being bullish. And obviously, you have this high here. This all-time high will be a target. So since that gold is unable to breach these fair value gaps, right, it's very expected, right, that gold would just continue going bullish, right? Very expected that gold will just continue being bullish, right? Very expected, right? That gold will just continue being bullish. So 1 hour charts, you can see that gold is still bullish. On the 1 hour, we have this last down push. You can obviously highlight this area. This is a key level here. So you can see what price will do there. The price comes down to that level. This can be a very good area to buy from, right, on gold. The gold can come back to the test here. And don't forget that this area is also sponsored by a fair value gap. So we have a fair value gap inside here, right? We have a fair value gap inside here, which you might see gold give a very good buy from. So this is what happens when gold comes into this area. So this area will be a good area for buy continuation, right? So bullish break, key level, line chart key level, you see there. Also, you can call it a breaker block, right? You can call it a breaker block, and then you can see GPUSD buy from that point. Sorry, gold. I don't know. I'm just saying wrong things today. Gold. Oh, sorry, gold. Imagine. So I meant to say gold, not GPS. Sorry. Whew. So that is basically what I have for this guy. So let's see what the market gives us. And just lastly, quickly, Nasdaq. On the Nasdaq weekly charts, we have very good. Um, I've had a very good structure for buy. So look at Nasdaq. We took out this low, and then we have been pushing higher. Right, we've been playing off this other block here. And then if you compare Nasdaq with the Dow Jones, right? You compare it to the Dow Jones, you can see that Dow Jones is making a lower high, while Nasdaq made what? A higher high. How do I know? So if you compare, this high was from the 18th November. If you compare this with the 18th November of Nasdaq, this 18th November, somewhere around there. Okay, it's the same actually. So highs were formed on the two places, right? So really, really, well, we took out this low, and then we are playing off this liquidity void here. So you can see that this liquidity void has been played with. Let me mark the liquidity void for you to see. Look at this liquidity void here. So you can see our price is actually playing off the liquidity void. It seems as though price has broken itself. It seems as though price has broken the liquidity void. That's how it looks like. Price has broken the liquidity void. Yeah. Let's see. It looks like price has broken the liquidity void, and yeah. So guys, it seems like price has broken the liquidity void, and it's like it's tapping back into it to continue upwards. So let's look at this carefully. So price, it looks like price is trying to break up, but I would have loved to see a very good breach. Right? Price, the low of this candle is at I'm looking at this level here now. Trying to push something up. This is a low. The low is at 42,162. The high of this is at what? 42. No, the low of this is at what? 42,162. The high of this candle is at, okay, yeah, it broke above it. It closed above it. So we might see price use this as a support to continue going bullish. Right, so we can't be really certain for now. Let's see what price does. 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 That area. All right, so that's basically what I have here. So let us see if price can breach this. But I would love to see price close clearly above this. And I will show that it's going to act as a support. The market is not so clear this morning on this guy. Comparing that with US 30, US 30 is giving us a bearish order block. But looking at the bearish order block, price is unable to, price has gone. There was also a favorable gap here. Right, look at this favorable gap here. Price broke the favorable gap. Right, ordinarily, if it was really, really wishing to be bearish, it should have dropped by now. But price has gone above it. But don't forget that this other block is still there. Right, so let us be mindful. Looking at the 4 hour, because that 4 hour is still printing bullish. Right, can you see it? 4 hour is printing bullish. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then you can see our price is making higher highs and higher lows. So it's not really logical to look for sales right now. Let's see what market does. Right. So for now, I have bullish sentiment on both these two guys. Just wait for price to give you a clearer structural confirmation before you do anything. Right. So this is what I have for the week. If you have a question, please do want to drop it in the comment section. I'll do well to reply as soon as I can. All right, so have a wonderful day, guys. Cheers and God bless.